Moana 2, however, there's something I found a little curious here. It's an 83% drop. That's more than I was expecting. The Metacritic score and the RT score may be indicative that this movie might not have the kind of hold that Disney is really hoping for.
Renegade Online.
Moana 2 got the benefit of the doubt. Moana 2 got the benefit of the first film being as popular as it was on Disney+. But that isn't necessarily going to keep it in that vein. And what I mean by that is this. Moana 2. So we just had the thing up there a second ago with the trailer, the likes versus dislikes on it, substantially better than Snow White. And it's only been a day for Snow White, meaning it's only going to get worse for Snow White. Moana 2, however, there's something I found a little curious here. And I'll show you what I mean. It had a great opening weekend. Really had a great opening weekend. But as we showed you before, when you looked at some of the stuff from like Metacritic that had Moana 2 at like a 55 or 56 or 57%, you look at Rotten Tomatoes here, you go into the tomato meter, which Sunday, we didn't have a variance between top critics and all critics. We do now. All critics at 64, top critics at 62. That's one of the closest all and top critic scores I've ever seen. And that's kind of disconcerting because that means even the shill all critics, the people that usually Disney can get to say anything, it seems like, they were not moved by Moana 2 really at all from that regard. Let me show you where I had my concern about this. And I wanted to see what the reaction was. So check this out, okay? I want you to look at the box office here, which, again, fantastic box office so far. But check this out. All right, Moana 2, fabulous opening weekend, right? 3 and 5 day. We covered it previously this week when it happened, okay? $225 million domestically through Sunday. That Monday, though, bro, that Monday gave me a bit of pause. Check that out. It's an 83% drop. That's more than I was expecting. I was expecting maybe around 65 to 70 based on the strength of that weekend. This thing dropped 83. And granted, I know it was hot out of the gate that weekend. I know the kids go back to school. I get it. I've heard all this before. But there are ranges that I like to look at that tend to that give me a suggestion as far as where a movie might be going. I still want to see the second weekend for this. But here's the deal. 83% drop. It went from 34.8 million on that Sunday, December 1st, to 5.8 million on Monday. It's a bit more than I would have liked to have seen. I would have liked to have seen that thing come in a little bit closer to 10. You know? That weren't making me feel good. It's got me head scratching. Now, let me show you what I mean by this. If you think that, okay, well, Valiant, what did the other movies do this weekend? All right, check this out. Let's look at the daily chart. And this is what I'm saying. The Metacritic score and the RT score may be indicative that this movie is still going to do pretty well by all accounts, but it might not have the kind of hold that Disney is really hoping for. And it goes to show you what happens when Disney rushes this stuff out like they did with Moana 2. Let me go back here to Monday. This is Tuesday. Let's go back to Monday. I want you to observe the drops coming in off the weekend. Red 1, 78%. Nobody was really going to go see that anyway, okay? That's not what it was there for. I want you to look at the two closest competitors, especially Wicked. Gladiator 2 had a 70% drop-off from Sunday to Monday. Wicked had a 72% drop-off from Sunday to Monday. Do you see a consistency there? Right? Relatively close, right? Relatively close. Moana 2 had an 83% drop-off. Wicked actually outperformed Moana pound for pound. because it's got roughly 300 and some odd fewer screens than does Moana. So if you look at the per theater average, Wicked actually beat Moana 2 on Monday. Yeesh. See, I was expecting around that 70% drop. It went to 83. That's pushing it for me. Something isn't quite right there. And what it has me concerned about is that, did Moana really rake in? Is this going to look like a Marvel movie, for example? You know, if you go here to Tuesday, this is through the end of Tuesday, yesterday, roughly 425. I know there's some international box office that's only through Sunday. Are we at the halfway point? So that means, does this movie's going to close around 850 million? Is that a stretch? Again, I've said it before. Moana 2, like Wicked, these should both be billion-dollar movies, especially in 2024. For Pete's sake, we had $7 billion+ movies in 2019 or whatever it was, 2018 maybe. 2019 had 5 or 6 or 7. We're struggling to do that now, and ticket prices are 40% higher than they were back then. 40% higher than 2019 on average. You know, a ticket for Wicked was like, an average ticket on opening weekend for Wicked was like $14-something. It was closer to 10 or 11 back in 2018 and 2019. So, point is, this should be easy to hit. But that Monday drop-off has me wondering. And remember, Moana 2 is opened in every major foreign country except Japan. It opens in Japan this weekend. But I think otherwise, yeah, everything else, there's a few other small countries out there, but it's open. So this thing's off and running. And again, it's not a bomb by any stretch. At least not yet. I don't think it will be. I want to make that very, very clear. Monday, though, that Monday is a little bit of a telltale sign. I don't know. I could wind up being wrong. The reviewers might wind up being right to where this movie might not quite have enough juice in the tank to get over $1 billion globally, as it should. And again, I don't think we have any definitive information as to what the spend on this movie was. I presume probably in the vicinity of $150 to $200 million, because Disney can't seem to get away from that. Probably at least another 150 million. I mean, if Universal dropped 150 million to market Wicked, in addition to all their marketing partnerships, then Disney surely probably spent in a somewhat similar value for Moana 2. So let's say all in, this movie, I would say, needs to at least get to 600 million, which should absolutely not be a problem. Get to 600 million to break even and cross into profit territory. But there's a lot of assumption in there right now on my part, not having a figure that I'm comfortable with right now and what they spent. So we'll see. But 600 million certainly should be the floor for profitability here. It could be a little higher. Could be 700. Could be 750. Just depends how it all shakes out. But the fact that this movie now, I'm starting to pull back on my thought process that this movie would break $1 billion, because that Monday has me a little gigged. The Metacritic and the reviewers might wind up being right. We'll see.
Make sure you're subscribed to Valiant Renegade and join us every Sunday at 6 p.m. Eastern for the live show.